Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to HuddleCamHD's episode 11, I believe. No, episode 10. And we're showing on how to use multiple cameras with GoToMeeting, WebEX, Skype, Zoom, who just actually recently released a really cool software solution for this. So we're going to go ahead and show that off now. So let's get started. So here I am with Patrick Kirby.
Hello, everybody. Nice to see you again.
In our beautiful little modern virtual set that we have. Hopefully our lighting looks okay, our cameras look all right. I think we're looking good. So again, this is episode 10, and we're talking about using multiple cameras with GoToMeeting, WebEx, and Skype. A couple cool new things. For those of you who might not have seen our last couple episodes, we're keeping these short, 20 minutes. This one might actually only be 15. It's going to go right through. You know, we listen to our users. You guys don't want to watch an hour-long show. We get it. So this is going to be nice and quick.
Yep, and it will record it, so it'll be available for everybody to look at millions of times, however many times you want to watch it.
So let's go ahead and take a look at our presentation here. Pat's going to be in control of that. What we're doing is we've got like 3 different approaches for adding multiple cameras, and I'm just going to run a little bit behind. I'm just going to put us in the corner here, and one of the solutions is actually what we're doing, which is vMix, the software solution.
Yeah.
But Pat, let's go ahead to slide 2 and talk about the 3 approaches that we have.
Right.
The 3 approaches that we have, go ahead and go to, is one is you can just connect multiple USB cameras to your computer. And if you do go with that approach, you're not getting all 3 at the same time.
No.
You know, the way USB drivers work is that each one connects to your computer, and you would be able to select between them. Yep. Which is a good thing.
And you do want to make sure you have the proper USB buses. You know, it's nice to for especially some of the USB 3.0 cameras, the really high definition, uncompressed ones. You're going to want your own USB bus for that camera. You know, you can read more about the USB 2.0 versus 3.0 stuff that we've talked about in the past, but you just want to make sure.
Now, the other thing you can do, which is kind of obvious, is that you can use multiple computers. So let's say, you know, you've got 2 or 3, you got 2 computers, 2 cameras, connect them both to the same Skype call or GoToMeeting call.
Or Zoom.
Whoa, there you go. You got 2 cameras. Now, that doesn't always work great when you're using active speaker, but if you're just trying to get 2 video feeds together, it works pretty well. So we have that as our second option. And then the third option is a USB video mixer. Now, there's software USB video mixers like we're using here, where we could literally have 8 1080p video signals coming into our computer, and we can mix them all together, and we can have an external stream from it, and that actually will feed Skype, GoToMeeting, or WebEx. So we'll show that off as well. That's my favorite solution. Especially because vMix is only $60, just so easy.
Yeah, and having a mixer does kind of give you that added benefit of being able to pull stuff, switch stuff. It certainly makes it easier when doing some of this stuff.
So let's go to the next slide here. Which we're in control of. Let's take a closer look at the options. So using multiple USB cameras. So you would take multiple USB. Here's a couple HuddleCams, and you would connect them to your meeting. And as you can see here, you would be able to select between them.
Right. A lot of softwares, you know, regardless of the video conferencing software, there's a spot in your menu where you can go in and select your USB peripherals. So the easiest way, and you know, the default way, is just to go into your menu and select which camera, which USB peripheral you want to be using.
So yeah, that's pretty fairly easy and straightforward. Let's go to the next one. Now, nice thing about having a secondary camera, if you look at our HuddleCam 3X, is you can use one for presentations and then one for sharing documents, or the same camera for both solutions. So, you know, if you ceiling mount a HuddleCam 3X, you can do a full 360, have a couple different presets, and what we're going to show actually with Zoom today, we're using Zoom right now, is that you can actually have a secondary camera. You can share a secondary camera, which we're going to look at, which would be really cool.
Yep.
So we'll show that off. And then finally, this is Wirecast. This is Cam Twist. There's Wirecast. There's vMix. There's a whole bunch of software for switching.
There's a good amount. we couldn't even scratch the surface of all the softwares out there.
There's a ton.
There's a lot of them, but maybe we can go over some softwares.
This is a couple to check out. Again, those links there are available on our slide share.
Yep.
You can use a USB hub if you run out of ports on your computer, but you really some of the lower end ones that we've found don't work very well.
Yeah.
They start dropping frames if you're trying to use two at once. So what we're doing actually here at our office is we're building a supercomputer with 12 discrete USB 3.0 ports. Well, sure, we'll do a video on that as well.
Yeah, that's a pretty intense computer. I don't think everyone usually has that, but you can build it, so go for it. Right.
Now, here's using multiple computers in a single meeting. That's always good. There we're showing a couple different situations for that.
This is just very much kind of like you can see on this, the stream. I'm connected with my computer. It's basically just having multiple computers in a video call. And that's really straightforward. Requires 2 computers and 2 cameras. So again, that should be straightforward. You got the diagram just showing if you have multiple computers, you can bring them into the same meeting. Really easy. But
yep. It gives you multiple simultaneous views, but the problem is you got to have 2 computers, which not everybody has.
Yeah.
Yep, it doesn't work well with active speaker. We mentioned that.
Yeah, and that's a thing that you can select usually in your menu. So your software menu, go into your GoToMeeting or your Zoom. Zoom does it, and then you can just select unselect the active speaker, so it's not changing your views, right? And then the USB
video mixer. So again, the software could do this as well. But here's the Roland VR50, and what happens is that you can have like 6 or 7 HDMI, maybe a VGA, an SDI input, multiple audio inputs, and it all gets mixed down to USB 3. So you got like picture-in-picture, fades, twists, everything goes out to USB. So that's really nice.
Yep, and this is a hardware solution. It is kind of nice to have an actual button to switch inputs. You can bring in mics. You can bring in multiple cameras as well as content. Makes it easy. Certainly worth looking into if you have the budget.
Now you could technically, if you go back real quick, Pat, is let's say this is not here, and let's just say it's a laptop. Well, you can technically use frame grabbers to convert HDMI to USB, which is actually what we're doing now. I've got a frame grabber right here, and I'm taking an HDMI input from the other computer, and I'm turning it into a virtual input on my computer. So I'm using vMix now, and you know what? I would like to actually just take a second to share my screen and show how that works, because I think that a lot of our customers are going to want to do something along these lines. So now you're looking at my computer here, and this AV.io, which is basically showing you what these little boxes are inputs, and they're all virtual inputs. And what I can do is I can click external here, and that external button, I'm not going to do it because we've got so much stuff going on, I don't want to mess with it, but that creates a virtual USB selectable camera. So if you're in Skype or GoToMeeting or WebEX, you can select this, and then you can do picture-in-picture, overlays, lower thirds, all this stuff into Skype or GoToMeeting. Now, the one thing you need to realize is, I guess, let's take a look at Task Manager and look at performance, and you can see without even running Zoom on my laptop, I'm already hitting like 50–40%, and I've got 8 gigs of RAM. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cores in this laptop. So it's a fairly beefy laptop to begin with. And so you're going to go all software. What you want to do, you probably want to talk to us and have us recommend a PC or build your own. But it's not easy to go all software. You do need a pretty good PC for that.
Yeah, and that's it can be pretty processor intensive, so it just makes
There's other ones out there too.
Yeah.
We're not a Roland dealer. We just happen to find these. The VR50 is the 1080p. The other two here are SD. And they're USB 2.0, but if you're on a budget, that actually fits pretty nicely.
Yep, and that's just the good old USB 2.0 versus 3.0 spiel that we've talked about before. Just going to get much higher bandwidth.
So the benefit here is obviously, professional transition effects.
Some touchscreen interface control production. You can, mix that audio and video with real buttons. It's kind of a nice tangible solution when you go for hardware. Mix multiple cameras, microphones, content, VJ. You've got multiple inputs.
All those inputs down to one USB without needing any ridiculous PC to handle it all. That's all that processing power to do all that. It's all taken care of with the hardware. We just talked about this yesterday. So I'm almost worried about running vMix, streaming, recording, and trying to do a video conference all on one computer. It could freeze the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I've actually had it happen. So I didn't want to go down that route.
Yeah. Just make sure you got the right PC. That's the name of the game here, really.
And the live demo. You just got it. So you guys all just got the live demo. We are basically doing all this stuff live right now. So that's actually all we have. Again, we're keeping these much shorter. So thank you, everybody, for watching. Pat, is there anything else you want to throw in there?
I don't think so. Just things to consider, compatibility, ease of use, cost. Budget's always an important one.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you have the right cameras. Do you need a static camera? Do you need a pan tilt zoom camera? One thing that people like that we didn't really talk about is document cameras.
Yep.
So, it just depends. Every project's different.
Let's go full screen with it real quick. Now, if you hit share, there's a new feature inside of Zoom that says camera. So we can share a camera. We've already we're ready to wrap this show up, so we're not going to. You can go ahead and double click it, but I don't think we have a second camera.
I don't think we have a second camera.
What comes up when you do that? Okay, so you can switch between cameras. So if you stop video, and then, okay, now go ahead and switch cameras. It's in the top left.
Oh.
There it is. Okay, so now let's say this is a document camera, or let's say this is, some type of camera that you have plugged in. Now, the interesting thing is that I should be able to annotate on top of this. I saw this being done, but I'm not seeing my option. Go ahead and try to do it with your PC. Click the more button, and then how did they do it? I guess I saw them.
Maybe it's because we're sharing a camera and not a window. Or something.
Yeah, I thought I saw it in the preview, but maybe I'm wrong. So anyway, you can use multiple cameras through Zoom now, which is really cool. That's all we really wanted to show.
Yeah. So that's document camera, maybe one camera for the audience, camera for the presenter. It always is nice to have two cameras. It certainly makes setting up presets and everything a lot easier. So.
All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to our channel if you like, and if you like this video, give it the thumbs up button. We like to know which episodes you guys like the most, so we can start making more content like that. So thanks for watching, everybody.
Yep. Take care.